Well, hey friends and neighbors, this is Chuck out at Sheraton Park Farms. Welcome back to the farm. Bright and early this morning, I think it's about 4 o'clock. Sarah and I hooked up the truck and the trailer, and we took a cow to the butcher so that we could restock on our beef that we've got for sale. So if you've been following along the channel very long, you may say, I never see you show any cows or talk about cows on your property. And you'd be right, we don't have any. But we sell quite a bit of beef under the Sheraton Park label. So come along with us. We're going to show you the cow, the steer actually, that we loaded up. We're going to talk to the farmer that we got it from. And we're going to talk about how you might be able to add beef, pork, chicken, whatever the case may be, on your farm without actually raising those animals, and how it can be profitable to you and still follow along with regenerative agricultural principles and raising animals the way you want to raise them and the way you think they should be raised. So hang out with us for a little bit and let's talk about cattle. Now, when did y'all build this handling facility?
It's been here at least 10 years.
Yeah. Because y'all were doing everything down there below your house, wasn't you? Right there in the front?
Yeah, that's that's the old place down there, and we're going to remodel it and hopefully build a different shed, get rid of all that mess. It's not good working down there.
Right.
Not like this is here.
Yeah.
See, we got two outside pens like this.
Right.
And we've got some stuff they brought in here. They went over here to Parks Ridge and brought some culls home. I'm gonna feed them and see if I can get them big enough, some calves, to go back out here in this pasture.
Yeah.
But these 62, I believe, out there that we're trying to get ready for a truckload sale.
Right. So how many head have y'all got all together right now?
We normally feed about 300 head.
About 300. How long you been keeping cattle, Don?
Really? See, I was born right here on this farm.
Right.
I've never lived anywhere else.
Yeah.
And from the time we always had a couple old milk cows, and I guess for a 4-H project had a heifer, you know.
Yeah.
And showed one in the cow, you know, when you have them shows. And from there on, I've had something ever since, you know.
Yeah.
How old were you when you did that?
Probably 12 years, a little over 12, 13 years old, somewhere along there.
And how old are you now?
The last day of this month be 79.
79. So you've been keeping cattle for over 65 years.
Yeah.
Daggone.
But we didn't really grow to the number we've got till after I retired from dispatching.
Right.
Well, we had cattle, but not
as many.
We've got 200 mama cows. And then all the stuff we've weaned off, and now they've calved again, all them calves out in the pasture with them. So,
yeah.
So we've got over 300 head right now.
And how many acres is all this are y'all farming on?
Right here on this place, there's not all that many acres. There's a little over 100 acres in a long strip through here.
Yeah.
Between here and over behind Brian's, all the way over to the Dan Call Road.
Right.
But now a lot of our land's in timber.
Yeah.
And we rent a lot of land.
Yeah. You rent a lot of grazing land. A lot of pasture.
And hay land.
Okay.
Both.
Yeah.
And these corn growers have run the price up on a lot of this rented land.
Yeah.
And people say, well, we get more out of the corn growers.
Not as good for the land though, is it? Them tilling it as much as they
They're
are.
taking nutrients out of it, or
Yeah.
y'all
Putting it back. Yeah.
Well, we've got several places where people was only cutting it once a year and
Yeah.
never put anything on it.
Right.
And we've had to go in and lime and fertilize and spray for weeds to get it back in production.
Yeah. And you've taken it from 1 cut in a year to 3 in a lot of cases. Ain't that something? Now, have y'all already cut once this spring, or about time at least, ain't it?
See this stuff laying there?
Yeah.
That's barley,
Yeah.
where we winter cover crop.
Yeah.
And our pasture grazing has not come on like it should.
Yeah.
So we've been still having to feed hay in 2 or 3 places.
Yeah.
So that barley was sowed right up here on the hill, up the highway.
Yeah.
And kept telling Brian, I said, Brian, keep from running out all our hay we've got stored, dry hay. I said, let's cut that, bale it, and feed it. See, that stuff's still green.
Yeah.
We'll have to feed it fast as we can, keep it from rotting those bales, because
Right.
them bales are wet inside.
Yeah.
And I guess people thought it was crazy. Last Saturday morning, I mowed that field, went back and raked it. Then Brian come back baling it. I guess people thought we was crazy.
Same
baling
day?
that wet hay. but we've already fed a bunch of it.
Yeah.
Hopefully we've pulled some cattle into what these people say is a sacrifice area.
Yeah.
And hold them, feed them this.
Mhm.
By that time, hopefully these pasture grasses will be
Coming
good
up.
enough to graze good, you know.
Okay, so I titled this video gross over $20,000 per year selling grass-fed beef without any cows on your property. And like I said earlier, we did take a cow to the processor, and for those of you that have been following the channel for a while and watching, you know, we don't talk about cattle here, and the reason being is we don't actually have those cattle here on our farm. This is a process I talked about in another video, partnering with another farm that can do the production for you while you do the marketing and the selling. And so that's really how this ends up working out. We went out and found a farm, and it just so happened to be some folks that we have known for a long time that are raising animals in the exact same way that we would raise them here on our farm if we had 2 key things that right now we just don't have. Number 1 is the infrastructure. We don't have the good perimeter fence that we need for cattle, and also the land mass. We simply don't have enough land on our farm to support a grass-fed beef operation. We're on about 32 acres, but by the time we take out land that the house and the property that we're living on, we take out some property that is wooded and or inaccessible, and then we add in all of our poultry production and our pork production, there just isn't enough land left. Well, we've got a few sheep too. There just isn't enough land left for us to do grass-fed beef on a scale that would be profitable for us. So we have elected to find a farm, again, that does follows the same methods and practices that we would here on our farm, and we buy those animals from that farm. Now, for the folks that we're buying the animals from, Mr. Parker that you saw on some footage there a few minutes ago, this really works out to be a pretty good deal for those guys. They don't have to take that animal to the sale barn, and typically the animals that we're buying are ones that were not included in a full load if they were selling a full load of cattle. So it saves them transportation. They don't have to haul the animal back and forth to the sale, and we are typically buying them at a price that's very comparable to the sale barn without having to pay commission. So it ends up being a good deal for them. We get a good, high quality grass-fed animal that we can then utilize our relationship with our processor to get that animal processed quickly, and then we can utilize the market that we have built and the customer base that we have built over the course of about 4 years through our poultry and our pork sales. So it ends up being a real good deal for everybody. We're able to bring a high quality beef product to market, so we can offer that as an additional item or kind of group of items to our customers that are already purchasing pork, beef, eggs, and lamb from us. So works out really good for everybody. So over the past year, this is from April of 2020 through April of 2021, we have purchased 7 cows from Parker Farms and had those animals processed. We have sold, I can't remember exactly, a couple of halves. I think we've done maybe a couple of quarters, but the majority of that beef has been sold just by retail cut. Packs of ground hamburger, steaks, roasts, kind of fill in the blank on all the products that we've sold. So over the course of that year, we've sold a little over $22,000 in grass-fed beef. That is a gross number. That does not take out cost of cow, cost of processing, other incidental costs, storage, fuel, and that kind of thing. And I'm not going to get into all those particular costs. Suffice it to say that it is a profitable enterprise for us, and it's profitable in terms of the fact that we don't have a lot of labor in that either. So works out great for us on that side. If you're a new farm, you're just getting started, this is a good way to source products that you may not have the infrastructure, the expertise, the time, the land, fill in the blank, to raise. Find a farm that is raising those animals using the same methods, processes, and values that you would, and see if they would be willing to do the production while you do the marketing and sales. Good way to get your name out there, good way to get some product to sell, good way to start building a customer base, and then over time, as you get some money rolling, you expand your farm, you can buy the infrastructure, you can buy the animals, whatever is holding you back from doing that, you can get some cash flow going, and then that would help you to transition over into the production side. For us, we want to transition over into the production side for grass-fed beef, but we've got a couple of things that we need to add. We've got to either we have to get some infrastructure, but primarily we're going to need more space. On the 32 acres we're on, there just isn't enough space for us to do the pork, the poultry, the sheep, and also add that grass-fed beef. So I think one of the key takeaways that I would want you to take away from this is that successful farming and successful business is about developing relationships and developing partnerships with folks that can augment what you're already doing or can fill in a blank where you're unable to fill in. So in our case, Parkers are able to provide us with a high quality grass-fed animal that we can then process and market as a grass-fed beef product to our customers that we've already built that relationship with. So, but anyway, I rambled enough. I'm gonna post a link to a couple other videos over here. Some other stuff we got going on. Gonna have some updates on Big Mama here in the next day or two. Kind of working through some stuff with her. Again, just not what we had hoped. But anyway, if you've not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Follow along with us. We appreciate y'all watching. We'll see you on the next video. Thanks. Maybe this is the 4th time. Who knows how many times this is. Well, hey friends and neighbors, 7 cows. This sounds awful. Let's kind of rewind. So once you go through the processing and you get, we're gonna show you locally raised, locally processed, and we're keeping all the